here today. My name is Erica. I'm a junior at the college from New Mexico, and I'm the co-president with Josh Kaplan of the Harvard Chabad Undergraduate Student Board. Thank you again so much for being here tonight on the second night of Hanukkah. Lighting the menorah here at Harvard Yard with members of Harvard faculty and all of you has been a tradition for 25 years, and we're so grateful to be able to continue it here tonight. This evening, we add a second candle to our menorah. This second light represents growth in the mitzvah and the first proof that the miracle of Hanukkah was sustained. This has been a tragic week for this community in many ways, and it set a very heavy tone for this holiday. But being here together on the second night reflects how the fearlessness and unity of this community, like the mitzvah of Hanukkah itself, continues to grow and to endure. Rabbi Schlanger, the Chabad rabbi who was tragically killed in Sydney yesterday, said that in response to anti-Semitism, the best way to respond was to be more Jewish and to be more proudly Jewish. So here, for the second time this Hanukkah, we stand today, Jewish and proud, proving that the light of this community sustains and endures. We're thrilled to be joined by the president of Harvard University, Alan Garber, and the dean, Bill Fitzsimmons. We'll be lighting the Hanukkah candles tonight, but first I would like to now introduce Rabbi Hershey Zachary, the Jackie Omri Dahan, Jewish chaplain and founder and president of Harvard Chabad and Jewish Cambridge, to share a few words.
Dear friends, President Garber, Dean Fitzsimmons, distinguished members of the faculty, and our dear students. I refer to you as the Harvard Chabad family. The truth is that it's very difficult to speak. We're still reeling and getting updates from Australia, from Sydney. And I should mention, in addition to Rabbi Barrel, a beloved member of our team of the Harvard College campus rabbi on behalf of Harvard Chabad, who lives a minute from Bondi Beach, who personally knew many of the victims. There's two members of our community from Sydney at Harvard College who we invited to speak, but they asked, because of how painful and difficult this moment is, they asked for some space, and if we can, and of course we're understanding. So of course the pain is very real and very personal for our community. If we're going to grow and if we're going to learn, we can't not but remember, and thankfully for the most part it's only a memory, that even in our own midst we heard chants over the last few years of globalize the Intifada. What happened in Sydney, Australia, to men, women, and children just being Jewish and celebrating Hanukkah, was a manifestation of globalizing the Intifada. But of course we're here in the shadow of the menorah, and like Chabad, the menorah's message is one of light. And in the teachings of Hasidus, in the teaching of Chabad Hasidus, and specifically, in fact, we just celebrated the anniversary of the liberation of the founder of Chabad, Rabbi Shneir Zalman of Liadi, who was imprisoned and suppressed and oppressed as a people because they wanted to be Jewish, and in the former Soviet Union that was forbidden. When he was ultimately freed, he gave a powerful esoteric discourse on the idea of peace, specifically how to achieve freedom through peace. You can achieve freedom through war, and sadly that's part of the equation at times. When you have to go to war to defend your children, But ultimately, that victory is not a real victory because the enemy forces you to engage in a way that causes you to take action in a manner that compromises the dignity of life. But not only are you required to, but you're obligated to do so. That would be a freedom through battle. There's another form of freedom that's through strength. America was a great example of that during the Cold War. With enough strength, you deter the enemy from attacking you. But is that peace? The minute they think they could overwhelm you, they'll go to war. But finally, there's a third way, and this is what King David gave voice to. What the Alter Rebbe said he read those Psalms when he was freed. He said, "Padav v'shalom nafshi." My Lord, I hope and I yearn and I pray, redeem my soul in peace. And how does one do that? As many of you know, the word Chanukah also comes from the word not only dedication, but education. Chanukah is chinuch, is to educate. And who better to lead us in this process, in an environment of education, a bastion of education. The Torah teaches us, Jewish learning, Jewish teaching shares with us that the most powerful way, and the most meaningful way to achieve freedom, which is what Hanukkah really represents, is the freedom to practice one's faith freely, as the Jews were not permitted to back then, and had to battle through the Maccabees to ultimately defend the right of the Jew to live freely as a Jew. The most meaningful and enduring way to do so is through education, because you know what happens when you educate? You transform the once upon a time enemy into a friend. You just by illuminating the darkness, by eliminating the ignorance, by removing the conspiracies, by introducing light and wisdom and compassion and understanding. That's how we heal the world. That's how we illuminate the darkness, and that's the strength and the inspiration we take from the light of the Hanukkah candles. The miracle of the candles, because what's the miracle of the light? The miracle of the light is that you don't have to go to war, you don't have to battle darkness. You don't chase away the darkness with arms. You just turn on the light. You turn on the light of wisdom, the light of understanding, of community, of dignity and respect for one another. Then you could redeem my soul and our souls in peace. So this is a time when we need Maccabees. And the Maccabee, our arms, we'll leave it to the militaries and the governments when that's needed, and hopefully we should never need it. But in our context, to be a Maccabee means to open the books, to share the ideas, to open our hearts and to share the warmth so we can once again be a united family, a global family, honoring wisdom, light, and human dignity in the service of the single Creator. In this moment, I'd like to turn, he's a man of great business, and we got the email, I'm pleased to say just a few minutes ago, that our community is going to have the privilege of having the leadership of President Alan Garber beyond a limited year or two, but without a limit. So Hashem should give him the strength. Hashem should give him the strength, the health, the wisdom, the courage, and the support of our community to lead us and to illuminate the path so we can have freedom through peace. President Garber.
Thank you, Hershey. It's hard to follow up on those wonderful words from Rabbi Zarki. But I did want to offer my welcome and thank all of you for braving the cold, and many of you taking time away from your studies for your last papers and final exams. Thank you so much for being here. Every year when we do the candle lighting, I like to make a point of thanking Hershey and Elke and their family and the Chabad community for bringing the community together. Now, I've known of a number of different Chabad Chabads around the country. It's never easy work. It is very hard to make it a success. And both of you act so gracious about it, but I know it's a big challenge. What we also need to remember as we think about what we're grateful for in Chabad and your work, is that as we were reminded so tragically just a few days ago, leading Chabad can actually carry a lot of risk. And the recent tragedy is not the first one. So I just want to express my gratitude, and I hope the gratitude of all of us, for what you have done to build community and the sacrifice that you have made. So please join me. Thank you. This is a challenging and dark time in so many ways. And I think about, when I think about Chanukah, I also think about the words of Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, who has written about the distinction between optimism and hope. And according to Rabbi Sachs, optimism is the belief that better things will come. Hope is different. Hope is the belief that we can make a better future, that we can make better things happen. When you think about the Maccabees battling against the Seleucids, they were not optimistic. They knew that they were battling against a far more powerful force, and that their prospects of success in that battle were quite remote. But they did have hope, and that is why they committed to defending the Jewish way of life. When the Jews who survived the Holocaust, as they battled to survive, they did not have optimism. They knew what they were up against, but they did have hope. They had hope that through their actions, they could survive and build a better future. I think we should take a lesson from the Maccabees and the story. The oppressors of the Jews over the centuries have largely disappeared. The Roman Empire, the Seleucids, the Soviet Union, for that matter. But we are here today celebrating, as we have for nearly 2,000 years, the holiday of Chanukah. And that in itself is a miracle, but it's a miracle that was built on hope. So I want to echo Hershey's words about the importance of education. And I would add, this is something else he alluded to, the importance of Tikkun Olam, because we are a people blessed with hope. Happy Chanukah.
And so to light our shamash, our candle that then empowers the rest of the candles to shine, is our beloved Dean Fitzsimmons. And it's so appropriate because you are our hope for the future. You're the ones who are going to make this world lighter and brighter and a better place. And so to someone who has empowered you to be that light, it's very fitting that he lights the candle that will then be handed over to President Garber to light the rest of the candles so that each candle can light on their own. Because that's the point, that you should be empowered to be your own light, not have to depend on anyone else's light. So, ready?
Yeah. So, the subject of leadership, I'd like to, it's Elke's here, Rabbi Mendel and Rivka, who lead our graduate student community. I'd like to ask you to please come forward. Rabbi Beryl, please come forward. Our student presidents, as we get ready to recite the bracha, as they make their way up front, to add to Elke the shamash, the servant candle that Dean Fitzsimmons will be lighting. If you have to ask anyone, the children always love this conversation. which night of Hanukkah is it? How many candles is there? They'll say 2. But hey, there's a third one on the top. In fact, the tower is above the others, but that one doesn't count. That's the sign of a true leader. They're not looking for their own place and their own expression. Their total being is here to bring out the light and the good in others. And we've chosen you tonight, Fitz, to be the shamash, the circuit candle, because you create that opportunity for our community. So we have our torch. Here we go. Well, all right. Here we go. Got it. Yes. Got it. Now we'll stand out. Now we'll you have the shamash and Alan will light the candles.
Yeah.
Ready?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Stick around. We'll see if this works. The second one first.
Let's choose. We figure out how to do this. We don't have a proclivity for, you know.
So this will continue every night of Hanukkah, including tomorrow with Professor Meyerson. Stephen Pinker will be with us on Thursday, and I'm proud to say that this Hanukkah, with the intervention, with the leadership, I want to thank the President and all the administrators to ensure that the menorah can indeed stand through the night and give off its light. So this is our first Hanukkah. Very proud to share that. Many of you asked, is David Sultan here? I'd like to ask David to come over for a minute. Esteemed alum and future parent, and I should acknowledge we have with us Harvard Chabad board members. I want to welcome Dan and Shoshana Farb, Michael and Ellen Burke. The Sunshines are here, dear friends and partners. And David was here. The first time we did the menorah, someone said, who's going to pay for it? I said, I don't know. I said, and then David said, I will. So David, do you want to just say a quick hello, a quick greeting?
I just...
Class of 97, a parent of 30?
96.
Before our time, so I don't have the years.
Soon to be proud parent. My son is coming here next year. I just want to say I'm honored to be standing here with all of you coming out on this cold night in the middle of finals. President Garber, Dean Fitzsimmons, Rabbi Zarchi, and really just in light of the events of the last 2 years, in the last few days, it's, as I say, to bring the light of Hanukkah. It's the miracle. I would say rabbis argue of why we light 8 nights. And to me, the biggest miracle is that they even looked for the oil at the end, right? And no matter what happens, we come back. We bring the light. The Holocaust, October 7th, in the dungeons of Gaza, is what we do. And so I would say to all of you, on behalf of concerned alumni around the world, what you're witnessing here is really a sign of hope and eternity. President Garber, Dean Fitzsimmons, Rabbi Zarchi, I give you all my blessing and support as you have the Herculean task of really helping the world's next generations of leaders to understand that dialogue and light always trump discord and darkness. And so, as Lubavitcher Rebbe said, think good and it will be good.
Amen.
Wishing you all Chanukah Sameach.
Hold on. Okay, sure. photo.
27 years.
Okay. What 27 years?
Everyone,
Huh?
we'll do our annual.
Everyone. Okay.
If everyone wants to kind of flip around and face
Quickly,
this way, we'll do
get into the photo.
our
Nana,
nicely shot.
it's a shout out for Nana who got this thing going for the world. For the last, she's 27. For the last 20 years.
I think it's signatures.
Michael, Ellen, and Shoshana, please come forward.
We're here.
Come in, guys. Plenty of room on the front. Whoever's up there, come in right here. Come in, sit in. Come in, come in, come in.
All right, Tracy. Tracy's ready.
All right, everybody together. 1, 2, 3. Happy Chanukah.
All right, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right. We got a brighter one. It was like so dark.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you.